Say what's cracking, YouTube. It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down. So yeah, check this out. You know, the other night, maybe about 11 o'clock at night, and maybe I'll put this video up, maybe I won't. But the other night, about 11 o'clock, I'm getting off work, and I'm coming through this stretch. Like, this is the first time that I came through this stretch, right? And it's on San Mateo Canyon Road or something like that, right? And so it's maybe, like I said, it's about 11 o'clock at night. It's dark as hell back through here, man. It's dark as hell, you know. And so I'm driving and stuff. I'm like about the only car on the road. Then suddenly, another car get behind me. And so I'm driving maybe about a half a mile. You know, the car is getting closer. And suddenly I think to myself, man, what if this is the police, right? And they try to pull me over? Then it's crazy, right? Because I honestly say that I'm far from a scary dude, man. But at that point in time, man, I got scared, you know, because I'm thinking like, man, you know, the police can pull me over back here. They can say and do anything. You know, they can say I refused, I resisted, I reached for a gun, all type of stuff, right? And at that moment, I told myself, man, if the police get behind me and try to pull me over, I am not pulling over. You know, I'm not just to pull over until I get to a spot where I feel much safer, you know, where it's lit. You know, there's people around. I probably would have pulled into a store or something, or, you know, something that I've seen open, right? And it's crazy, right? Because you still have a lot of white people out there who just don't get it, man. They don't have a fear for the police, you know, or excuse me, they don't have a fear of the police, you know. And it's crazy, right? Because I'm thinking about the video that we seen recently about Sonia Massey, whatever her last name was, excuse me for mispronouncing it, right? And I got several requests to do a reaction on that video. You know, just lately, I don't know if you guys have noticed, I've been trying to post a lot, but sometimes, you know, my schedule fluctuates. And so, like this morning, I got up to go to work at 7, and here it is, like a little after 8, and I'm just getting off. So that's kind of been the reason for my inconsistency in posting, right? But so as I'm coming through here right now, the light doesn't do it justice as far as how dark it was the other night, man. It was extremely dark, right? And so several years ago, right, I was foolish and naive enough to believe that, okay, now once the police start wearing these body cameras, they would stop shooting and killing blacks in the manner they had been doing before, you know, the body cameras became like a mandatory thing for the police, right? And, you know, I know for the longest, a lot of white people, and I've said this, you know, and of course, no disrespect to white people or whatever, but I've said this, that you guys have no idea of the negative interactions and the things that we experience dealing with a lot of these police forces across the United States of America. And, you know, you guys, a lot of times, especially for the white people that's not in or of the criminal element, and so when they do get pulled over by the police, you know, they may have a courteous interaction. They just can't believe that these things are happening, right? Now imagine what happened to Sonia Massey. Imagine how that would have went down if they had not been wearing body cameras. You know, we have seen for years and years and years upon years things happening to blacks at the hands of police, and the police are being found not guilty if they even have to go to trial. A lot of times it's not even, you know, it's a justifiable shooting or something like that, right? I remember a few years ago, it was a dude, I believe his name was Walter Scott. He got pulled over by the police, and I believe he had a suspended license or whatever it was. So for whatever reason, he took off running. Just so happened it was a person across the street or in a field or something. He's recording this incident unbeknownst to the officer. The officer shoots Walter Scott in the back several times and kills him. Then he goes over there and it looks like he's trying to plant something on him, you know, due to the dude recording it kind of being far away. It wasn't clear to make out what he was doing, right? But you know, it's just a trip that, like I said, a lot of people, you know, for years and years and years, either they didn't care or maybe they supported the police killing blacks. Who knows, man? Because, you know, a lot of the horrific things that was done to blacks at the hands of the police, there was never any prosecution. And, you know, a lot of times the police supporters just believe that, okay, well, you know, if things had to go down the way the police put the things down in a report, because the police just wouldn't up and kill a person, you know. Clearly in my opinion, man, the police officer who shot Sonya Massey had to know that she was dealing with some type of mental breakdown, right? You know, any person who deals and encounters with people on a regular basis, and I'm sure they have also they have some type of training, right? But anybody who deals with people on a daily basis for a living, after a while you can kind of get the feeling that when you're talking to a person who's eccentric, when you're talking to a person who's you know, quote unquote considered normal, or you're talking to a person that's having some mental problems, right? And she definitely was having some mental problems, you know. And of course I'm not trained and, you know, and that type of thing, but you know, I look at it like, since I was out, you know, since around the age of 14, 15, selling weed, then I moved on to selling drugs, you know. I've had a lot of interactions with people on a daily basis. And then of course, when you go to prison, you're dealing with a lot of people, a lot of, you know, different personalities and people on a daily basis. And so, you know, you can after a while, you can get a feeling of, you know, you get a feel of the person that you're talking to. What type of person? Okay, this person seems like he ain't all there. This person seems like he's extra tough. This person seems like, you know, he's non-violent. And all the times that feeling may not be right, but at least, you know, it gives you kind of a gauge on how to proceed when dealing with that person. And, you know, immediately, you know, a few minutes into the conversation with Sonya Massey, they should have been able to discern that something wasn't right about her. You know, a lot of people, you know, want to blame the officer, which I do blame the officer, you know, but they never should have even went in her house. But beyond that, also some people at the department, you know, should definitely be in trouble, because days before that shooting, a day or two before that shooting, Sonya Massey's mother, or Massey, called the police department and explained that her daughter was having a mental breakdown. She was going through some psychological issues, and she asked them to please not send any officers out there who were combative, who may hurt her. Now, it's sad that she would even have to ask that question, but that just points to and confirms the fear a lot of black people have of police, because a lot of times,
in a quarter mile, turn right onto Redlands Boulevard.
A lot of times you guys will see, you know, that when they're called out to deal with black people, you guys, you know, black people, I don't like to use the term black people. I like to say African, you know, because in my opinion that's what we are. But for the sake of the more generally accepted term, sometimes I do use,
take the next right onto Redlands Boulevard.
Sometimes I do use black person or black people or whatever. But a lot of times when the police are called to deal with black people, you know, they have a condescending attitude. They're disrespectful. You know, their attitude is cavalier. You know, they don't necessarily seem concerned. You know, how can you, what part of protect and serve did those police officers do to Sonya Massey? You know, and they asked her, they asked her to go shut the pot off or whatever. I don't even understand why they would even ask her to do that. What part of the pot was concerning them before they asked her to even go over there and shut it off, But then once she grabbed it and she said, "I rebuke you," so on and so forth, it seemed like the officer would have just backed up, but he, not only did he not back up, he went closer, threatening her, threatening to kill her and stuff like that. And of course, eventually that's exactly what he did. Then on top of that, he didn't want to go get his medical kit and try to render any first aid to her. And don't quote me 100% on this, but I think that also after he shot her, he referred to her as the B-I-T-C-H, that crazy B-I-T-C-H or whatever. He was just, he was uncaring whatsoever. And so it's just crazy that how a lot of people don't see that. A lot of people don't see that. If you're not a minority, why minorities are distrustful and scared of the police. And like I said, I was naive and foolish enough several years ago to think that, okay, once body cams became mandatory, police, knowing that they are being recorded, they would change some of their behavior. But it's clear, and we've seen in several shootings since then, they have not changed their behavior. And honestly, I believe it's a systematic attitude that they have. It's almost like a secret among them, or maybe not even a secret, that okay, we can shoot people and our word will be believed. And so because it's crazy that their attitude has not changed, man. You still not too long ago, a couple of days ago, you see a black dude handcuffed, and he's asking the police, he's not resisting, he's asking the police, what did I do? And one police just punched the dude right in the face. This dude is handcuffed, standing there, and he's just asking the police, what did I do? And so the police in a lot of instances feel that it's okay to go I guess over and beyond the force that's required to get a situation under control, because historically they have not been prosecuted for the horrific things that they've done to minorities, And so yeah, it just tripped me out that I was coming back through here once again. This my GPS directed me to come back this way once again, and so then it just it made me think about the other night when I was coming through here, because I can tell you guys, man, I know that any type of interaction I have with the police due to my criminal history and my background of going in prison, it potentially can send me to prison again. And I know 100% that by me probably not pulling over, they definitely would have arrested me and sent me, back to jail for a little while. And they definitely wouldn't have even been able to understand my anxiety and my fear of the police. They would probably have been like, well, hey, nothing was going on. I mean, why wouldn't you pull over? But they just don't understand that, being black, for me, being in this area where it's nothing going on out here, the police can say anything, man. The police can say anything. The police can do anything. We seen not too long ago where, excuse me, where some black dude just so happened to have a camera in his car, or some type of, system hooked up where he was recording, and the police had pulled him over and was going to go search it. And right before the police went to search it, he tossed in a baggie in his car or something. Then he reached in and said, "Oh, hey, what's this? But the black dude was telling him, "Hey, man, I got all that on camera. I got all that on camera, man." And so, had the black dude not been filming and had that camera set up, he definitely would have been in jail. He definitely would have been in jail for possession of drugs or whatever they would have charged him with. And so they don't even understand, what that charge potentially could have done to that dude, man. Let's just say this dude has a family of two. This dude is working. He has a job. He's a law-abiding citizen, And now this officer has falsely arrested this dude and sent him to jail. Let's say this dude is unable to make bail. So now he's not going to work. So eventually he's going to lose his job. Let's just say he's the only breadwinner, or let's not even say he's the only breadwinner. Let's say he's half the breadwinner. Let's say his significant other is working too. But she, as we all know, rent is extremely high nowadays. So she can't afford to pay all the bills, the rent and everything, with the loss of his income, with the portion that he was contributing. So now she and her children are forced to move out of that apartment or that house or wherever they're living because they can no longer keep up with the bills. Who knows where they go after that? Maybe they go to a homeless shelter. You know, maybe the lady has a friend who can only accept 2 of them. So maybe, you know, now one of the kids have to go live with somebody else. You know, while the father's going to court, dealing with this false charge of the drugs being planted on him. Of course, the judge is not going to believe that, you know, the drugs weren't in his car because he's black and we all sell drugs according to them. You know what I'm saying? And of course, everybody that comes to jail, they're screaming, I'm innocent. So the judge he's not believing the rhetoric that's being put forth by the dude who was clearly innocent. And so these are just some of the things that we have to deal with sometimes, man. And so I just put this video out there because it's a lot of people who don't believe the police have been committing these horrific crimes against minorities for the longest, you know. Even when I don't even know when that was. When was that? 92, 93, somewhere around there, when the police pulled over Rodney King and beat him. You know, they still made excuses for the police. They said Rodney King should have pulled over. You know, they said, you know, his actions led to the circumstances which caused him to be severely beaten and things of that nature, right? And it's like I said, it's sad that even in this day and age, this stuff is going on. And so sometimes when a black person is pulled over and he may just jump out and run, you know, people don't understand that. You know, when you see these things, when you see things happen, you know, you begin to fear the police because you really have no win dealing with the police, you know, other than, you know, I mean, well, I'm not going to say that because then I may get in trouble putting it on YouTube saying what I really want to say of how, you know, a lot of these police should be dealt with. And then even in that case, you know, you still going to get in trouble. It's really no win, you know, dealing with the police, man. And so, yeah, that's what I just wanted to say, you know, coming back through this area, it made me realize, like, you know, I was thinking, like I said, damn, if the police tries to pull me over, I'm not pulling over. Now, as you guys see, you can see, look, it's getting darker back here. It's still some light out here, but it's no lights whatsoever. It's no lights whatsoever. Look at all these, you know, this field. It's just, look, it's bushes, it's railroad tracks. It's nothing out here. It's no houses for miles and miles and miles. So say the police had to pull me over. He comes to the car, and for whatever reason, he may have been a police who just wanted to try to kill a person and get away with it. All of a sudden, he hollers, "Put that gun down! Put that gun down!" and just starts shooting. Then later on says, "Oh man, I thought the guy was reaching for a phone, or I mean a gun, or he could have a gun on him and plant a gun." So you see, we see things that happen like that all the time, man. So like I said, once again, you know, I was just coming through this area, and it brought all those thoughts to mind, man. Anyway, you already know what it is. It's your boy 16 to life. Hold on, man. There we go. Anyway, you already know what it is. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program. I don't think I stopped it, y'all. Let me see.